Welcome back, gardeners. This is your summer Q&A, some of your most asked questions for what's going on in the garden in summertime. So let's get started. First, when should I start planting my summer garden? Well, you're probably thinking about it when you start to harvest your spring garden. Things like lettuce, mustard greens, they don't last the entire season. So when you start to pull out your spring garden, you're creating gaps. That's the time when you start to think about your summer garden. So if you start planting in Illinois in mid-April, this is likely going to happen in about mid-June to early July. Question number 2, what veggies should I plant in my summer garden for a summer harvest? In June, think about green beans. You can pop those seeds in and they produce in about 6 weeks' time. In July, sprinkle some arugula around and you'll have a little early fall harvest. In August, you might be thinking about getting a second basil plant, as your first plant has probably gone to flowering and seed mode. Question number 3, which vegetables do great in the shade versus direct sunlight? Your leafy greens, things like lettuce, basil, and kale, do wonderful with a little bit of shade. Things that flower and produce a fruit, like peppers and tomatoes, definitely require more sunshine. So how do you save a plant that's in direct sunlight and you're noticing it's suffering? You want to make sure you plant taller crops around it to offer a little bit of shade. As kale gets tall, even varieties such as thousand head and marrow stem kale, which are amazing varieties, those will produce big, gigantic leaves that will offer some healthy shade for the plants that need it. Question number 4, which vegetables should I plant in the summer for a fall harvest? Dried beans are one of my favorites to put in the garden in the summer for a fall harvest because you cannot miss the mark. Think about your black beans, your pinto beans, and kidney beans that you're buying dry in the store. You can actually pop those in the garden. You wait until the pod is completely brown to pop it open and harvest the dry beans in the fall. In the summer, once the nighttime temps are above 50, it's a good time to plant your spaghetti squash, your butternut and acorn squash, all the squashes for a fall harvest in September and October. Question number 5, how do I prep in the summer for a fall garden? It's important to add compost back into your soil. More than likely, the plants from the spring and the summer have eaten up a lot of that, so definitely put a fresh little bit on top to amend your soil. Also, keep in mind that when you put 2 plants together, of what their grow habits are going to be. So if you put a spaghetti squash right next door to a tomato, you need to give them some breathing room. Those are both big vining plants by the end of the season, so think through spacing. So those are our most popular summer questions. Let me know in the comments below if you have any others, and subscribe. Question number 2. What plants do I plant? Come on, he doesn't want to crawl on me. I am your friend. I mean you no harm. There you go. Come on, buddy. 2 thumbs up. If you'd ask a cicada one question, what would it be? I think for me, why are you staying underground for 17 years? There's a lot of life to live up here. What are you doing for 17 years? Like really, aren't you bored? Don't you have things to do?